today I'm going to talk about some of the best formations for you to use. I want to keep this video quick because I know you guys are eager to play FC26, but if you could drop a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. One of the best formations in the game, once again, is the 4-2-1-3. I've had so much success so far using this particular formation. I have not lost a game using this setup. So for the goalkeeper, we're going to have him set to goalkeeper. You can have sweeper keeper if you want that. All comes down to personal preference. Both centre backs on defender. For me, you have to use defender on your centre backs. The other ones, just put the centre backs out of position. They're not really worth using. Both your left and right back on full back. Now, normally when I tell people to use this, they kind of give me a bit of grief because it seems very defensive. But with your left and right back on full back, they will automatically be back defending. And then when I want them to go forward, I'll trigger the runs using LB or L1 on Xbox, so you can trigger the runs for your left and right back to go forward. So I find that's what works best. A similar approach when it comes to the CDMs. I have them on deep line playmaker. That way they're back ready to defend the encounter in case we lose possession. But also if I do want them to get forward, I can use LB or L1 and trigger the runs forward. You can get a lot of goals using that CDM and getting them forward and joining the attack. With your cam, we're going to have him on Shadow Striker. I find that's what works best so far in this game. Shadow Striker, your cam seems to always be in plenty of space, ready to pick up the ball, drive forward. He will even make runs in behind. Shadow Striker, for me on a cam, is incredible. Both your left and right wing on inside forward. That way they'll be in and around the box, there for the quick passes when you're looking to build a play outside and inside the box. For your striker, this really comes down to your particular striker. If your striker has Poacher Plus or Poacher Plus Plus, set him to Poacher. If he has Advanced Forward Plus or Advanced Forward Plus Plus, put him on Advanced Forward. If he has False 9 or Target Forward Plus, I wouldn't really touch them. I think Poacher or Advanced Forward is the best, and this really comes down to your striker and your play style. So I'd say play around with both and find what works best for you. Build up style on counter. Now a lot of people think this is going to make your team very defensive and sit back a lot. That's not the case at all. It really just means you're going to transition quickly and your players are going to try to get in behind as quickly as possible. So this is going to help your striker and your left and right wing make them attacking runs. Defensive approach on 65. I find if you have it any lower, if you have it down to 50 or 55, it doesn't work very well. Your defenders will fall back too much and invite pressure on. Having it on 65, I found works best for me. I would say experiment with this. If you want to try it a little bit higher, go for it and see how you get on. But right now for me, 65 is about right. If you want something a little bit more attacking, the 4-3-3 holding may be the one for you. Once again, set your keeper to goalkeeper. If you want to experiment with sweeper keeper, go for it. But for me, I found goalkeeper works best. Both your centre backs on defender. If you use anything else, I find your defenders just go out of position. It's so important to use defender on both centre backs in this game. Your left and right back once again on full back. And when you want them to go forward, trigger them runs using LB or L1. Fullback is just to make sure they're in the right position in case you get hit on the counter. They'll be there in the perfect position to defend. Your CDM set to holding. This year I found it is so important to use a CDM in your formation. If you don't have a CDM, I find you get hit on the counter way too often. That one CDM is just going to give you some sort of hope when you're getting hit on the counter. Ideally, you'll use a formation with 2 CDMs, but if you do want something more attacking, one CDM can do a job. One of these CDMs set to holding, ideally your most defensive centre mids. That's so you can keep some sort of shape in the midfield and prevent you from being countered too often. And your other centre mid set to box to box. I found this year with box to box, it is very attacking. That centre mid is going to be getting forward and even getting in behind your opponent's defense. So your more attacking centre mid set to box to box. Your left and right wing once again set to inside forward. And your striker once again, it all comes down to the particular striker you have. I would test out Poacher and Advanced Forward and just see what works best for your striker and your playstyle. So moving over to the tactics, of course tactical preset on custom. The formation we're using is the 4-3-3 holding. Your build up style on counter. Again, that does not mean you're going to be defensive. It just means your left wing, right wing striker and that box-to-box centre mid are going to be making much better runs in behind. And defensive approach, again, we're going to keep that on 65. Play around with it, see what works best for you, but I would not go any lower than 60. So there you go. There's 2 formations for you to use early on in FC26. If you want something well-rounded, well-balanced, the 4-2-1-3 is the one I recommend. If you go 2-0 down in the game and you need to switch up to something a little bit more attacking, then that 4-3-3 holding is the one you can use. If you want to experiment with your own formations, I'd say just make sure you have a CDM in there. That is the most important thing this year. I've